My first of 6 videos will be focusing on the popular but essentially ineffective and disruptive process of early specialisation. When identifying talent, it's important to be educated on the pitfalls early specialisation unknowingly produce for the young performers it's trying to help. And so in this video, I'll be explaining what early specialisation is and analysing and importantly critiquing its ideology and methodology. So what is early specialisation? Early specialisation is described by Meyer et al. 2015, specifically in reference to children, as intense and specific focus on one sport at the exclusion of others. It's important to note this exclusion of other sports is the sole driver and detractor of early specialisation. The belief is, by focusing in on one sport-specific movement, performers get a head start on performance development. So what is the reasoning for this? Modern sport is a $620 billion industry according to Kearney.com. Professional athletes are paid hefty amounts. Children, and especially parents, see this and want it. This desire manifests itself in the pursuit of scholarships and professional contracts, pushing early specialisation to the forefront in the hope it gives young athletes the edge over competition. What then is wrong with a child playing one sport? It's important to refer to the research on this matter and the conclusion it makes. Roman et al. 2018 suggests that intense and selective participation in one sport could lead to several issues associated with overuse and burnout. Thomas et al. 2013 also backs this up, pointing out early specialisation may lead to reduced motor skill development as specific sports motor skills are constantly used and non-relating motor skills ignored. It's this lack of motor skill development, as Thomas et al. 2013 says, predisposes young athletes to future injury. Reed et al. 2017 argues highly focused physical training and the accompanying levels of competition expose athletes to both physical and psychological stresses that are often excessive and unnecessary. Carter et al. 2011 explains physical fitness levels in youth are declining, and the combination of increased exposure and decreased preparedness for sports participation has led to increased rates of sport-related injuries. Chan et al. 1992 and Fitzgerald et al. 1988 point out the risks associated with overuse injuries in adolescents have far more serious consequences. Carter et al. 2011 lists these consequences, saying data suggests that there are tangible risks due to sports specialisation for young athletes, including cardiac, musculoskeletal, nutrition, sexual maturation, and finally burnout. With the data given, early specialisation poses serious risks, both short-term and long-term, to the young athletes, coaches and parents wish to develop. On top of this, only 0.2 to 0.5% of US high school athletes make it professionally, a tiny percentage. Add the high risk of early specialisation and the risk-reward ratio becomes clearly disproportioned. Thomas et al. 2013 summarises the point well, saying, "Specialisation in a single sport leads to success for a few and physical inactivity for many. It's important when developing talent to see the forest for the trees. Lifelong participation in sport is as much of a success as performance at a high level." Howard et al. 2010 backs this, saying, "Delayed sports specialisation provides enhanced opportunities for youth development." So if early specialisation isn't the key to development of our young athletes, what direction should we take? The American Academy of Pediatrics 2000 states, young athletes who participate in a variety of sports have fewer injuries and play sports longer than those who specialise before puberty. Franson et al. 2012 study also found that boys aged 10 to 12 who spent many hours in different sports performed better on standing broad jumps and gross motor coordination. Thomas et al. 2013 mentions the benefits, saying a wide range of sports activities during youth will promote diverse relationships and experience in children and adolescents. As adolescents grow into young adults, their multiple sport background can expand their adult physical activity options and foster an intrinsic interest in lifelong sports participation. And so these points move me on to my next video, which will cover a multi-sport approach to talent development and the research backing up its use in youth sport, including not only short-term development but importantly the athlete's lifelong participation in sport and physical exercise.